Well, hi guys, it's that time. It's our Bible teaching snippet of the day. Well, today I want to pick up in Luke chapter 15, and this is where Jesus teaches the three parables back to back: the lost lamb, the lost coin, and the lost son. And I would like to start part 3 today exactly the same way that I started with part 1 and 2 by reading the footnotes out of the Passion Translation so we can get the as much value and understanding out of these as possible. So let me read this to you. Jesus spoke 3 parables, unveiling and revealing how the Trinity desires to bring people back through the Son, by the Spirit, to the Father. Jesus came as a shepherd seeking and sacrificing to find the lost sinner. The Spirit seeks the lost like the woman with the light of illumination for the lost coin until she found it. And the Father welcomes the returning sinner back into his house. This is the work of the Trinity to bring us back to God. So with that said, let me say just a couple of more things before I talk about the lost son. If you'll notice in the very beginning, starting in Luke 15, chapter 15, verses 1 and 2 sets the stage for why Jesus taught these parables, okay? And the reason for that, okay? The religious leaders were talking behind Jesus' back. They were always challenging him, rejecting him, and trying to get other people to reject him, okay? And it was expected and required of anyone in Judaism, in the religion of the day, that they had to avoid any interaction with sinners. People who were outside of Judaism, the people inside Judaism, the Jews, they could not have anything to do with what was called sinners, people who were rejected by God. See, they believed that God had rejected parts of mankind and he selected just them. And there's this huge separation. And what in the world was Jesus of Nazareth doing, talking to people who were destined to be rejected by God and just be discarded, okay? So, and Jesus is challenging this idea that they had, okay? I hope that makes sense. So that was verse 1 and 2. But here's what I wanted to say about this. We see in verse 4 through 7 only 5 verses where Jesus is referring to himself basically as the shepherd going to seek the lost lamb. Then we see in verses 8 through 10 only 3 verses talking about Holy Spirit going out into the earth seeking and searching for the lost coin, okay? But interestingly, we see Luke 11, verse 11 through 32. This is 22 verses. It is a much, much more detailed is the word I'm looking for, detailed teaching about the Father. Isn't it interesting that Jesus focused most of his teaching in detail more on the Father? See, he was always about the Father. If you read the Gospel of John, you will see that. Jesus is so totally, absolutely focused on revealing to the whole world who his Father truly is, okay? So let me get started. And I don't really expect that I'm going to get that far today. And I'll do a second or third teaching even on this particular section of the lost son. So I'm going to do a teaching today, and I might add 2 more to this just to get the value out of the lost son. So let me go up and see if I can make it through this without crying today. I've already tried to record and had to stop because I started crying when I was reading this, but I'm going to do my very best just to read it and not let myself get moved by Holy Spirit to the point that I can't talk anymore. So here we go. And this is titled, The Loving Father. Did you get that? The Loving Father. Did you know that's what Jesus came to try to reveal to us? That his Father is a loving Father. Jesus is the exact image and likeness representation, the true character and nature revealed to us through the Son, of who the Father is. Jesus came to clear up every misunderstanding that mankind had about his Father. And here we are 2,000 years later still confused about who the Father is. And Jesus, I hear him saying, have I been with you for so long and you still don't know who the Father is? If you've seen me, you've seen the Father. And he has been with us a long time, for 2,000 years, and we still cannot see the Father through the Son because we're distracted by all these other things and we can't see him clearly. So I pray this teaching will bless you. So the title of this section that's been put at the top, it's just a heading. It says, The Loving Father. So here we start in verse 11. And then Jesus said, once there was a father with 2 sons. The younger son came to his father and said, Father, don't you think it's time to give me the share of your estate that belongs to me? So the father went ahead and distributed among the 2 sons their inheritance. Shortly afterward, the younger son packed up all his belongings and traveled off to see the world. He journeyed to a far-off land where he soon wasted all he was given in a binge of extravagant and reckless living. With everything spent and nothing left, he grew hungry, for there was a severe famine in the land. So he begged a farmer in that country to hire him. The farmer hired him and sent him out to feed the pigs. The son was so famished that he was willing to even eat the slop given to the pigs, because no one would feed him a thing. Humiliated, the son finally realized what he was doing, and he thought, there are many workers at my father's house who have all the food they want with plenty to spare. They lack nothing. Why am I here dying of hunger, feeding those pigs and eating their slop? I want to go home to my father's house, and I will say to him, Father, I was wrong. I have sinned against you. I'll never be worthy to be called your son. Please, Father, just treat me like one of your employees. So the young son set off for home. From a long distance away, his father saw him coming, dressed as a beggar, and great compassion swelled up in his heart for his son, who was returning home. So the father raced out to meet him. He swept him up in his arms, and he hugged him dearly, and he kissed him over and over with tender love. And then the son said, Father, I was wrong. I have sinned against you. I could never deserve to be called your son, but just let me be. And the father interrupted and said, Son, you're home now. Turning to his servants, the father said quickly, Bring me the best robe, my very own robe, and I will place it on his shoulders. Bring the ring, the seal of sonship, and I will put it on his finger. And bring out the best shoes you can find for my son. Let's prepare a great feast and celebrate, for this beloved son of mine was once dead, but now he's alive again. Once he was lost, but now he is found. And everyone celebrated with overflowing joy. Now the older son was out working in the field with his brother when his brother returned. And as he approached the house, he heard the music of the celebration and dancing. So he called over to one of the servants and asked, What's going on? The servant replied, It's your younger brother. He's returned home, and your father is throwing a party to celebrate his homecoming. The older son became angry and refused to go in and celebrate. So his father came out and pleaded with him, Come and enjoy the feast with us. The son said, Father, listen. How many years have I been working like a slave for you, performing every duty you've asked as a faithful son? I've never once disobeyed you, but you've never thrown a party for me because of my faithfulness. Never once Have you ever given me a goat that I could feast on and celebrate with my friends like he's doing now? But look at this son of yours. He comes back after wasting your wealth on prostitutes and reckless living, and here you are throwing a great feast to celebrate for him. The father said, My son, you are always with me, by my side. Everything I have is yours to enjoy. It's only right to celebrate like this and be overjoyed, because this brother of yours was once dead and gone, but now he is alive and back with us again. He was lost, but now he is found. Now, the first thing I want to talk about real quick, and I'm not going to stay on very long today, but there's a couple of different views, and yes, I did pretty good making it through that this time. I didn't have to cut it off and start over. And I do get very emotional because I can truly and absolutely see the heart of Jesus going out to find that lost lamb. And I can see the heart of our Father. He's watching and waiting in hope to see one of his sons come over the hill, so not so he can sit there and wait till someone comes home and then make a few rules, judge them a little bit, treat them harshly, tell them what a failure they are, and then after they beg enough, accept them back into his life. No, the Father is watching that hilltop. He is waiting to see that lost son or daughter coming home, and he is not going to sit still. The Father is going to rush out and receive that person and wrap his arms around them and love them and welcome them into his kingdom. Jesus just showed us this in this parable, okay? And you know what, guys? I'm not going to go any further. I'm just going to stop here, and tomorrow I'll just come back and I'll talk a little bit more about some details within this long part of the parable, 22 verses. There's so much we could mine out of this, but today I'm just going to stop here, and I will see you here tomorrow. Before I let you go, let me tell you one more time, I love each and every one of you, and my heart's desire is that you would know the Son, Jesus Christ, and his Father, and know how much they love each and every human being, okay? I love you, and I will see you here tomorrow. Bye-bye.